I would agree.
Do you think so?
Well, the current generation, particularly young men, men in their 30s, say, are one of the most lily-livered, sobbing bunch of idiots I've ever seen. I think it's got something to do with the way footballers suddenly started to howl on the pitch.
Paul Gascoigne.
Well, they howl when they fall over. They howl when they're shouted at. They howl when they're sent off. They howl on TV. And you want to say to them, what happened to the stiff upper lip? Actually, if you stopped howling, concentrated more on your football, perhaps we would win a few things. And I think that's coming. And I suspect that their youngsters, the next generation that will come on, will take one look at Dad howling at something or other and think, no, not going to be like that. I'm going to go in for the stiff upper lip once more. I'm going to do it properly.
I want to get Jim in very quickly. Jim, 10 seconds, go.
Hello, Joel. Every time I watch Ireland playing on the rugby,
yes,
and they play that Ireland's Claw.
Does that get you going, does it?
Tears just flow down my eyes. But also when I hear the Welsh one too.
Land of Our Fathers.
Yeah, lovely.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Jim, thanks for your call this morning. Thank you very much. Gerry, are you an emotional man?
Patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel.
Yes.
Yes, I am a very emotional man. I'll tell you what gets me very emotional.
Are you embarrassed to cry?
What?
Are you embarrassed to cry?
No, certainly not. No, my tears run free.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed of my tears, and if I feel emotion welling up, I let it go. Wherever you go, let your tears go free. Listen, the only thing that embarrasses me sometimes when I'm listening to the radio,
yes,
and there are certain presenters on,
yes,
and they're giving out the phone number for Radio Ulster,
yes,
and they say that wherever you are, if you can ring all the radio programmes on Radio Ulster.
Gerry, I'm sorry.
All the radio programmes, including... Let me finish.
All
the radio programmes, you can ring this programme.
I forgot.
You said, and you can ring Alan Simpson and Hugo.
I forgot.
And you forgot about me.
I did, I'm sorry.
That's all
and
right.
Gerry, you are the one man that I would want to ring. If I were a listener to Radio Ulster,
yes,
you are the one man that I would want to call. And I hold my hands up and I offer a fulsome apology.
I hope you don't think I'm touchy.
No, certainly not. I think you're quite right to point this out.
It's just for the sake of the record.
Are there any piece of music that would have you crying? We're just talking about that to big Marty Rogan. He says that The Champ always made him cry. The film,
the mashed potatoes. He doesn't get enough of them.
I think he eats quite enough of them as it is.
No, I have to say that I have never heard a piece of music that made me cry.
Any films? Any movies?
Madam X.
Gerry, I'm sorry, but the written apology is in the post.
That's all right.
Phone Gerry. 08459 555 678.
A mere typist error.
Phone him again.
Coldplay. Charlie Brown.
Stole a key, took a car downtown where the lost boys meet. Took a car downtown and took what they offered me to set me free. I saw the lights go down at the end of the scene. I saw the lights go down and standing in front of me.
Coldplay, of course. That's their new single. That's the third single from their new album, which is called, and I always hesitate to try and pronounce this because I know I'd probably get it wrong. It's called Milo Xyloto. The album is called. It could be Milo Xyloto. I don't know. I have yet to find that out because I haven't heard anyone trying to pronounce it. I'm the only one who tries it. That's a song called Charlie Brown. I went to see them, actually, a couple of years ago, the last concert they had before they took a break, and I thought they were magnificent. Who was the last band that you went to see, the last artist? Can you think the last concert you went to?
No, what are we talking here? Are we talking band or are we talking artist?
What was the live show you went to see? I don't mean karaoke in the Catholic club. I mean, when was the last name band or singer you went to see? Pop singer? Dusty Springfield?
No.
Dave D. Dozy Beaky McIntyre?
It was before that.
Before that. The Searchers? The Hollies with Graham Nash? Who would it have been? Tom Jones and his Engelbert Humperdinck? Please release me, let me go.
I was very disappointed, and those were the days last night.
Oh, did you watch that?
Yeah.
I managed to avoid it.
Very disappointed because they concentrated a lot of the programme on mountaineering men from Northern Ireland who want to climb mountains.
Was Alphonse saying how wonderful it is and how healthy it is and how wonderful it is for your legs?
Good, the programme last night. I was so disappointed because I was looking forward to it.
It's too feel good.
That's not good.
Actually, one of the things about that programme is sometimes they show ridiculous things and they say, isn't that great?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I laughed at last night during the...
But I bet you nobody laughed at it on the programme.
No, it was about... they were going back to, I think, by 1977 or whatever it was, this group of people from Northern Ireland decided to go off to climb this mountain in Iran or wherever it was anyway.
There are no mountains in Iran.
Well, you understand. It was one of those places, you understand. And I think it was, though. And...
it's one of those desert mountains.
And the group of people anyway there, and they were saying that they'd sent the reporter to accompany them on the journey was a young Jeremy Paxman.
Yes.
And one of the people were saying, he says, they got the feeling that Jeremy Paxman didn't want to be there.
I wonder where they got that idea.
Exactly. Well, they just climb on. And I don't say the way because it's there, people climb mountains, you know what I mean? But I just can't get my head around it all, why people want to climb up a mountain.
They're like, golfers in many ways, to be honest with you. I remember a particular encounter I had with a batch. Is that the plural collective term for golfers? A gaggle? A giggle? A drunk?
No, try a four-ball.
A four-ball of golfers? If you see about 6 golfers standing at a bar, what do you call them? A gaggle, a giggle?
No. A group of golfers.
No, I have another word.
Yes,
Anyway, I was walking past them and they stopped me as they normally do. They all shouted at one time. They said, what about you, what about you, what about you? I said, hello. And they said, do you play golf? I said, no. And they said, why?
Listen, there's a man needs your help urgently.
Urgently?
Yes.
Oh, I better minister to him. Right. Good morning, sir.
How you, Gerry?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Gerry, there's a swan. It's running about the road outside Airport Road Service Depot.
Control yourself a moment. A swan, did you say?
Yes, a swan.
It's running about the road?
Yes, instead of it in the lake, it's on the road.
Disorientated by the sound of it. And is it one of these migratory swans or one of the local swans? Do you know the way up here in particular in the northwest we get a lot of hooper swans?
The Belfast swan has got the Belfast flock.
Is talking like that there? Is it a swan that seems to be at home and at ease with itself?
Well,
No, the reason I'm asking you is at this time of the year you get lots of swans and geese travelling overhead, right? And sometimes one or two of them leave the flock and they become disorientated, and sometimes they might hit a telegraph wire or something like that and lose the ability to fly. And I have seen this myself up here in the Derry/Londonderry, near where I live, a goose or a swan wandering about disorientated. What normally happens is if they're not got quick enough, Mr. Fox gets them, right? So this goose or whatever it is, it's geese or goose or swan. What is it?
Excuse me. Could you stop talking about yourself for a moment and talk about the swan? Where is it so we can get?
I'm getting to that. I'm just explaining why the swan might be there.
You're taking that long. Fine, let's find out where it is first so we can get the man.
Why don't you take over then?
No, where is the swan?
In the middle of the road.
Ask him now what road it is.
Well, whereabouts? What road?
Airport Road, Belfast.
The Airport Road in Belfast. And where exactly is it now?
Near Temple Patrick, is it?
No, what building is it outside, or what business is it outside?
Outside the road service.
Outside the road service, okay.
Okay. Whereabouts is that roughly? Is that near Temple Patrick or the other direction, near Crumlin? Where is it?
Just off B Street. Sydenham bypass.
Sydenham Bypass. Oh, Belfast City Airport. You
Yes.
see, whenever I think airport, I think Belfast International Airport, I think up around Templepatrick. So it's down around Sydenham.
Yes.
That's
on
no
Airport
place.
Road.
That's no place for a swan.
No.
So,
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Jerry?
I've run out of questions.
Can swans fly?
Yes, they can.
Well, why doesn't it fly away?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you beforehand. It could well be one of the hooper swans from Russia.
Yes.
And it could well have been.
disorientated.
It may be disorientated, and it may have had some small injury. It may indeed have, it may think the strike is today.
Is it walking around
Rather
a
than
circus,
tomorrow.
Walking around a circus singing, "Show me the way to go home."
There's no need for that. There's no need. Show me the way to go home. There's no need for that flippancy. This man is for the goodness of his heart, and thank you for ringing us, sir. As Joel, what is he called, Joel Thompson? Taggart. He gave out the number of everybody except me.
Thank you very much.
Right there. So hold on a minute. Well, what do you think should be done? Somebody should come and get it? What about the RSPCB, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Birds?
Is this man watching it now? Can you see it now?
No, I did see it. It's still running about the middle of the road.
All right, then. Would there be any way that you could maybe go out and apprehend it, catch it, no, not catch it, but, bring it out, bring it to safety?
Too many big trucks coming up the road.
So the police could go up and get it.
Yeah, somebody should do that, yeah. All right, any RSPCB or the RSPCA, maybe if they're listening, and maybe if they're of a mind, as they say in government circles, if they're minded to, maybe perhaps they would go and do something about that swan, because this man has given notice that the swan is in danger. Mortal danger, I'd say. All people going to Hollywood. Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that public-spirited act. Good man.
Okay.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
million. Bye. Bye. He felt a little wary.
Yes, there's another call on.
Do you know what I felt? I felt as if he thought we weren't taking that seriously.
No,
See, I felt he felt uncomfortable. I felt he thought we were
wasn't.
taking the real out of him.
Well, fair play to you, because he didn't want to do it, but he felt as though he had to do it.
Exactly.
It
That's
was-
the type of man that we're running out of in Northern
Yes,
Ireland. Men,
yes.
men who have principle. We need more men like that. Men that fell during the First World War.
Well, William's on too.
Is he? Would he think he would fall during the First
don't
World
know,
War?
what do we say?
I don't know. I'll ask him. William. Good morning, William.
Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Would you fall during the First World War if you were asked to?
If I fail, I'd never get up again.
Me too. I'd be a mushroom bomb casualty. Okay, then, what can we do for you, sir?
I tell you what it is. I'm travelling towards Belfast on the M1 motorway, and the traffic on the visibility is very, very poor. And there's people driving lorries, cars with no headlights, with no dipped headlights at all, and there's other ones coming down with wee candlelights. They may as well be candlelights. They're just wee side lights, and it's the police should have the signs up on the road saying dipped headlights only, because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be an accident, It's ridiculous.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, you can indeed.
Have you ever been on this programme before?
Me, oh gosh, I've been on with your friend, Mr. Nolan, before, but
That's okay.
I know you can get as much done as Stephen Nolan can do, so that's why I'm ringing you.
Well, do you know why I ask? I'll tell you why I ask. Because
Yes.
we have a little, myself and Mr. Coyle, we have a little cartoon series which is called On the Air. Did you ever see that?
I haven't, no, I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. No need to apologise. But don't do it again. There was a series on a couple of years back. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Coyle, it's coming out. We have a date for transmission.
Oh, no.
Our new series is starting on the 16th of December and will be on Christmas week.
Is that right?
And each little programme will be on at 10:30 or 25 to 11, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Well, I'm glad to see you back on the television. Is it the TV you're coming on?
Yes, but it's not me, really. It's my little puppet.
Your
my
little puppet?
Yeah, no, it's a cartoon series. You haven't seen it, so I have to
It's not a
explain it.
cartoon. It's hardly called
It's
cartoon.
start animation.
Yes.
It's cartoon. It's a cartoon.
is it
And when I say cartoon to this man, this man has no idea because he hasn't seen it.
Yeah,
So I
but
have to
cartoon to me is Huckleberry Hound.
Is it?
Understand? Yeah. If you say cartoon, I think Fred Flintstone. I think Yogi Bear.
Well, if you say cartoon to me, I think of Leonardo da Vinci. Because cartoons were what certain types of paintings were called in the 15th, 16th, 17th century. See, you're Yogi Bear,
Yeah.
I'm Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
There's a gap
Yeah,
there.
there is a bit of.
Anyway, the reason I'm saying this to you, sir, is because in the second series, or one of the little programs we had, was about a man who rang up furious about people not putting their headlights on during the phone.
Yes.
And he sounded a little bit like you, but he was more angry than you are. So that's why I asked you, you ever been on the phone before?
Well,
Angry.
I'm a very placid person, so there's no way I would be angry, especially talking to a gentleman like yourself.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you ringing. And where do you say this problem is prevalent now at the moment?
It's on the M1 motorway.
Yeah.
Well, probably in both directions, but I'm on travelling into Belfast.
And what is the problem again, you say?
There's people are not using their dipped headlights,
Yes.
and some of them aren't using lights at all.
And
I think it's ridiculous because the visibility is very, very low.
Okay, then. So people travelling on that road, and indeed many other roads at this particular time, the visibility is not great. And please put on their dipped headlights. It's not a lot to ask.
It isn't. I have a friend called Victor. He's Polish, and he never puts his lights on. And I tell him, is he trying to save his electric?
You may have saved a life today, so thank you for that.
That's not a problem. And all the best for you and Sean on your programme.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good. Well, that's good, you see, that our little cartoon programme is coming on again.
20th of December.
No, it's not the 20th of December.
What do you say?
It's Christmas week, the 16th of December. It's
The
starting
20th, the 20th is Christmas week.
No,
Yes,
you'll
it is.
find... Hold on a minute.
The 20th is Christmas week.
What's the first Monday?
Sure, what day is Christmas? 25?
Yeah.
Well, why is the 20th not a Christmas week?
See, a week usually begins on the Monday.
Yeah, but why is it not Christmas week, the 20th?
Because...
Why can it not be Christmas week?
I don't know.
Nor do I.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for my thing here.
All right, what?
See, why do you confuse me like this? Don't you realise it's not easy for me? Don't you
what-
realise? Hold on a second. I need to look
But
at
why
my...
wouldn't it be Christmas week? If it's the
it
20th,
could have been on
7
some other
days.
week.
7 days.
No, but it's 5 days.
5 days.
It's
Well,
starting
25.
5...
That makes it to Christmas Day is 25.
Will you stop? Look, will you stop, please, a minute? I'm looking for my calendar.
I was dreaming last night that Charlie Lansbury was fighting for the world heavyweight boxing title.
I don't think there's much chance.
No,
I think there's a weight discrepancy
and there
there.
was a sniper trying to shoot him.
Really? Really?
Strange dream.
Notice how I have no interest
Yes, absolutely.
whatsoever in
yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
What difference does it make if it's?
I'll tell you the difference it makes.
What?
I'll tell you the difference it makes.
If you say to people at home now the program starts on the 20th of December, they say that's grand.
It's starting on Monday the 19th of December. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I said the 16th. It's starting on Monday the 19th of December, which is Christmas week.
That's not Christmas week.
Yes, it is.
19,
Yes.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26,
The 25 is the one you should have stopped at. That's
25,
Christmas.
25. Aye. Yeah, well, I suppose it is Christmas week.
I suppose it is, yes.
Yeah.
So it's starting on Christmas week on Monday the 19th of December, and our little cartoons. And I've seen some of them, and you're very bad in them.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just something about you that I don't like.
Oh, bad, evil looking.
Evil looking, but there's a look about your eye that you didn't have before. I've noticed you. See, obviously they've noticed it in you. As you get older, you're beginning to look more evil and gnarled. I, of course, I'm looking more wise and more serene. So there we are, 10:35. So we'll tell the people about that as the time approaches. And it's important that the people know that, and I'm looking forward to that. And,
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're looking forward to it.
no, because I haven't seen them before.
Neither have I.
Well, were you not looking forward to them?
In a way, I am. Yes.
Well, why can't you just say that? Say you're looking forward to them.
But
Don't
I'm
be
not
laughing
re-
at me.
No, but
I'm looking forward
it's
because
not
I
a
enjoy those. Because they're full of stuff that we've forgotten we were talking about.
No, but you're saying you're looking forward to seeing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
I'm
say
not,
that.
I'm not looking forward to seeing myself.
I just suggest
I'm
what
looking
you're
forward to
saying.
seeing
It's a
my
programme
little.
about- it's about
I'm looking
you.
forward to seeing my little puppet, and your little puppet too.
No, you're not a bit interested in my wee puppet.
I
You
know, I
never
hate your
looked at my
puppet.
wee puppet in your life.
I peed on your puppet one day. Nobody looked at it.
No answer to that.
I was in the office. I peed on it.
You did not.
I did so. I did.
Brute.
I know. I'm like that. That's the way I am. This is Tara Hoy, a fine singer.
I'm full of humility, and I wish everyone could see that I just gave some things away. I put them on public display, but no one looked my way. What a dangerous game I play. Oh, take away the Pharisee in me, and all that I pretend to be. Show me who I really am. The only reason I can stand is you. And I am doing really well, and I believe I can tell just what's wrong with you. But I will pray you through. I'll do it so the people hear. I'll wait until they come near. Then I'll say it loud and clear, so they know I'm the one to fear. Oh, take away the Pharisee in me, and all that I pretend to be. Show me who I really am. The only reason I can stand is you. And I am going to run this race. I'll keep my hands stuck in your face, so I will win the prize. And I'll look into his eyes. Oh, I wonder what he'll say when I take his breath away. Oh, take away the Pharisee in me, and all that I pretend to be. Show me who I really am. The only reason I can stand is you.
Isn't that just lovely? That's Tara Hoy, a young lady who was in the studio a couple of weeks ago. A young lady, I can't remember where she's from, excuse me. I think she's, I think she's in Ballymena, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's just a little demo she made at home. I think the sooner that people realise how good she is, the better. I'll play another track. That is called Humility. And there's another track here called Run to Me. I'll play that after the news. You see, people turn to me. You know, they do in many ways. And sorry, I just hit the mic there. A gentleman writes to me and he said, I have an urgent matter that I thought you might be able to assist me with. You see, my brother has a weekly student radio show called Dead Air that you once promoted on your own show, contrary to both common sense and BBC procedure. Now, would Hugo do that?
No.
No. Your intervention helped boost listening figures from the single digit to numbers of upwards to 11 or 12. Still mostly family members, and a few people evidently with too much time in their hands. The show seemed to go from strength to strength after this. At the beginning of this term, Dead Air had 39 listeners, contributed to no doubt by the swelling numbers of the unemployed and the steady dedication of the feckless and the work-shy. In other words, students. Now, I don't want to bore you further with figures, but to cut a long and heartrending story short, we have watched these numbers steadily decline as winter has progressed. They have now evened out at a very unimpressive 20. This is where I thought you might be able to intervene now. I would not, of course, expect you to promote the show as before. It is true to say that the last time you condescended to do so, it felt as if you administered the kiss of life. Dead Air, however, must now learn to stand on its own 2 feet without the oxygen of endorsement by great figures such as yourself. Please pardon these clumsy metaphors. I can assure you they aren't deliberate. It is simply the emotion taking over. What I wanted to ask you, Gerry, or was it you, perhaps with the aid of your humble assistant, Sean Coyle, would you be able to offer some words of advice and encouragement to Patrick and his co-host, the wizened senior citizen Michael Mohan? Things are looking a little hopeless and grim at the moment, such that my brother has even recently talked about looking for paid employment. Don't go there. Madness lies within. Only yesterday it was with a wistful eye that I watched him send off an application to the civil service. That's how bad it's got. Perhaps you'd be able to offer some insight into the secret of your success. Give them a few pointers about how to engage the public, suggestions on how to whip up a frenzy so that Dead Air becomes familiar to the lips and ears of listeners across this land, and indeed beyond, as is the case with your wonderful show. What's the secret of this show? Well, I suppose we could go further by telling them to ignore the needs of the listeners, for a start. And indeed, when people ring up in distress, show no interest. The third thing they could possibly do is when people ask for a song that reminds them of some sentimental period of your life, we laugh and don't play it. Another thing we can do is be cavalier about the choice of music and avoid anything that a great number of people ask for. Is that nearly the secret of this show?
Fairly close.
Anything else I've left out there?
Do you know anyone who ever joined the Foreign Legion?
Yes, I do, actually.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I met a man in Dublin whilst I was living there who had just left the Foreign Legion. And he said it made him.
Why did he join?
Because he was wearing a dress.
Down, down, we went down. Down, down, we went down. Down from the higher ground. Oh, let's sing my sister down.
These are the Henry Girls from an album called December Moon. The Henry Girls will be on this programme in February.
Down, down, we went down. Down, down, we went down. Down from the higher ground. Oh, let's sing my sister down. Oh, my dear sister, what have you done? Everyone was watching as you walked out in the midday sun. I can tell by your eyes that you're frightened, but I know you did what you had to do. When you picked up that axe handle, you were sure of what was gonna happen to you. And we went down, down, we went down. Down, down, we went down. Down from the higher ground. Oh, let's sing my sister down. I wish I had more time to say goodbye. Glaring at the bonfire light, singing songs for putting babies to sleep and to soothe broken hearts at night. No coming on stuck from this one. You couldn't let that handle lie. We knew you'd be too angry once the glitter wore off. We all knew that he had to die. Down, down, we went down. Down, down, we went down. Down from the higher ground. Oh, let's sing my sister down. Down, down, we went down. Down, down, we went down. Down from the higher ground. Oh, let's sing my sister down. Singing 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 my sister down.
That's the wonderful Henry Girls. That's a song called Sing My Sister Down from their new album. Well, it's not their new album, it's their last album. It's called December Moon. That's the Henry Girls, and we'll be hearing them live in a couple of months' time in this programme. Right, back after the news.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
The BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Anne-Marie Foster. The Chancellor George Osborne will begin delivering his autumn statement in an hour and a half against a background of worsening economic forecasts. He'll insist that his spending cuts have brought real benefits for the UK, but the Independent Office for Budget Responsibility will lower its predictions for growth and warn that the deficit is falling more slowly than was thought 8 months ago. The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, says the government will do everything it can to boost growth.
We're going to be quite upfront with people about the difficult challenges we face, but this coalition government will continue to lead to provide the country with the stability that we need. It'll make sure that even as we take these difficult decisions, we do so as fairly as possible. It'll set out a plan to build the homes, the houses, the roads, the broadband infrastructure that we need for a strong and prosperous Britain.
The former Northern Ireland Secretary, Peter Hain, has been warned by police that his computer may have been hacked while he was in office. His spokesman says the claims raise national security issues. A man was assaulted during a robbery at a clothes warehouse in Ballymena last night. Just before 6 o'clock, 4 men attacked the member of staff at the premises on the Woodside Road and drove a van into the warehouse. They stole a substantial amount of stock before tying the man up and making off. The Chief Executive of the Football Association of Ireland has denied they set out to poach players from Northern Ireland. John Delaney says his association will only talk to a player once he's declared an interest in playing for the Republic. He says it's a matter of individual choice.
The player decides that he wants to declare for the Republic or the North, the IFA, then it's a matter for the association to get involved, but only at that stage. I don't think any player should be pressurised into playing for either country.
More sport news now with Nikki Gregg.
Giovanni Trapattoni has signed a contract extension that will keep him in charge of the Republic of Ireland for the 2014 World Cup qualifying campaign. Marco Tardelli is to continue as his assistant. David Beckham has written off Manchester City's chances of winning the Premier League this season. He's backing Manchester United, saying his former club has more experience in a title run-in. On to rugby, Ian McGeechan is an option to take charge of the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia in 2013. That's according to tour manager Andy Irvine. The head coach will be named next spring. And former world champion Kimi Räikkönen will return to Formula One next season after signing a 2-year deal with the Lotus Renault team.
And the weather forecast with Cecilia Daly.
Heavy rain and squally winds will soon move away eastwards. It will take a while for the standing water and flooding to subside. Winds will switch to a westerly direction, drawing in colder, brighter weather with some showers. Afternoon temperatures typically around 6 or 7 degrees, and the showers may become wintry over the hills. Tonight will be cold and breezy, further showers, some wintry, and a touch of ice is possible on hill roads.
BBC News. BBC Radio Ulster. Travel News. Flooding is still causing problems for drivers this morning. It's particularly bad in both directions on the A1 near Skelton's Road. That's about a mile north of Banbridge. Also drive with extreme care along the B10 between Rathfiland and Banbridge. Meanwhile, flooding on the Glenavy Road at Ballinderry may still be causing tailbacks in both directions. And further north, the Trench Road in Londonderry is expected to remain closed between the Belt Road and Church Road for another hour. Finally, for those travelling by train, bus transfers are still running between Portrush and Coleraine due to signalling problems. However, train services on the Larne line are back to normal after a fallen tree was cleared from the railway line at Jordanstown. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, do you support the strike? Will you be on a picket line? Is striking the only way, or is it doing you out of a day's pay? Meanwhile, George Osborne's on his feet for the autumn statement. Will he be breaking the bad news? And it's Rory versus Darren for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Who'll you vote for? Also on the programme, 10 grand for a court case which acquitted a woman accused of stealing £15 worth of flowers from Marxies. Is that a good use of public money? You can tell me on Talkback at 12.
Wendy talking about golfers there. A gentleman writes to me and he said, talking about a collective noun for golfers. What about a Pringle? A Pringle of golfers? A boredom of golfers? A course set, as indeed corset of golfers? Those are quite good. I prefer a sneer of golfers, an arrogance of golfers. You don't like any of this stuff,
No, I
do
do
you?
not.
You don't like it?
No.
What about a tube of golfers? And incidentally, another person writes to me and says, what was that? I can't remember what it was. It's a request for the classic Bohemian Rhapsody by Captain Kirk. Oh, no.
No.
No. No need for that.
Hey, I'm in love. My fingers keep on clicking to the beating of my heart. Hey, I can't stop my feet. Ebony and ivory and dancing in the street. Hey, it's 'cause of you. The world is in a crazy, hazy hue. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Ba-da-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-dum-dum-dum. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Rock-a-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-dum. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Man, you got me burning. I'm the moment between the striking and the fire. Hey, read my lips, 'cause all they say is kiss, 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 kiss. No, it won't ever stop. My hands are in the air, yes, I'm in love. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Rock-a-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-dum. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Rock-a-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-dum. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. Rum-tum-tum-rum-kum-kum. My heart is beating like a jungle drum. 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 My heart is beating like a jungle. Rock-a-dum-ka-dum-ka-dum-dum.
I will wait for it to come. I've seen you're the only one who can make a difference. Just one word to change my world. You're the only one I need. Won't you come run to me? You're the only one that's true. Won't you come? Just need you. I will wait patiently for you. You're the only one who will break through these walls surrounding me. You're the one to tear them down. You're the only one I need. Won't you come run to me? You're the only one that's true. Won't you come? Just need you. You're the only one I need.
That's Tara Hoy again. Just a girl on her guitar. That's quite nice. That. Before that, we have Jungle Drum by Emiliana Torini. Strikes me that she may well be from Italy. Hold on a second. I'm just putting on this other. What was that track by Tara Hoy? Let me just check. It's written on the CD. It's not in front of me, as it says. It's called Run to Me. So that's two tracks, Humility and Run to Me, and excellent. Couldn't be better. Great show yesterday, kid. Gentleman writes to me. I don't know how to broach this, but do you remember you resigned yesterday?
Yeah.
No reaction. No reaction.
From Belfast?
No, from the people who are listening. There's no support.
What, support for me to go or support for me
No,
to stay?
none either way.
None? Not
Apathy.
so.
You see, there's worse. Wasn't what did Oscar Wilde say? Only one worse thing had been talked about. It's not been talked about at all. Only one man has commented. A man who writes to me thus.
There's a phone call, by the way.
Is there? I'll take that first. It's important. We can't leave the people hanging on.
Okay.
That's one of the first things if you want a successful radio station. Never keep the people hanging on unless you want to. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
Good, thanks. Couldn't be better, thanks. I'm as healthy as a butcher's dog.
Say that again?
I'm as healthy as a butcher's dog.
I'm glad to hear it.
Good. Go ahead.
My name is Barbara Mladic.
Yes, Barbara.
I have recently started up a new charity, or in the process of setting it up as a charity. It's really brand new, and it's rescuing ex-battery hens.
Yes, okay.
And we're called Nut House Hen Rescue and Rehoming.
Mm-hmm.
We've done our first mini rescue where the battery farms have let us in and take some hens when they're depopulating. And we've got another one in December. And I need as many people as possible who would like to give a couple of these girls a home because they are such affectionate little girls and they're still laying eggs, just not enough for the factories to want to keep them any longer.
It must break your heart when you go to those places.
It does, but when you go in, you've got to be professional. You've got to tell them it's a lovely, clean farm and thank them and all the rest of it. And just to get the hens out, get them home so you can give them a cuddle, give them a check over, trim their claws because they've been standing in wire cages so their claws grow. You know, like that woman you see in the Guinness Book of Records with the longest nails.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to get all that sorted out and then find them loving homes where they can go and have a bit of a retirement.
Maybe not everybody has been to one of those chicken farms. I have been lucky. Is not the best word, I suppose. I've been.
So you haven't been?
Oh, I have been. Yeah. Oh, I have been.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's the strangest feeling in the world to walk into a huge, like a kind of an aircraft hangar, and to feel 10,000 eyes on you, because
Exactly.
5,000 chickens just turn around and look at you.
Yeah, and the noise and the smell and the
It's
heat
Unbelievable.
is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's why I'm saying it must break your heart, because you can only save a couple of those.
It's very difficult because I've set up a place here. My partner Sam, he's built me two hen houses that will house, say, 75 birds each, and we have a third one that will hold maybe 30 birds. So I can bring out enough hens that people are going to take homes for, and this is temporary homing for them so as they can pick them up. And any that are poorly will stay here to be rehabilitated if they need veterinary treatment or anything like that. There,
What kind of
they'll
state?
get that here.
What kind of state are they when you bring them out? Because they've never known any kind of human contact, and they must be wired to the moon by the time they get out. What are they like if you take them out of an environment like that?
At first, when you first bring them out, they'll all huddle in a corner. They are quite terrified at first, but what we make sure we do is we pick each one of them up and we hold them against us and we stroke them, and they react so well to human interaction. I am at this present time sitting in my conservatory with two chickens walking around my feet. One of them, Sadie, she had to have an operation. When she came out, she had something called egg yolk peritonitis, which is where at some stage in her life, an egg, a soft egg, as she's been laying it, instead of coming out, it's gone down into her abdomen and started to rot.
Oh, dear.
And that substance sits in there and slowly poisons them. Now, normally people, if they have a hen like that, they would just cull it. They wouldn't do anything with it. But I have a fantastic vet, Mike Morfitt. He's also the vet for the Mid-Antrim Animal Sanctuary, who agreed to do this operation on the chicken very cheaply. And the reason I did it for her is because Sadie had only been out in the open air and been able to enjoy the grass and stretch her wings and stand on solid ground for 2 weeks. And I just felt that she deserved to have a little bit more of a retirement. That operation went fantastically well, and she's eating me out of house and home and chasing the cats around here at the minute. And then Cruella is blind in one eye, and she struggled a wee bit outside, but was losing weight. So she has a wee bit of an infection somewhere and is on antibiotics at the moment. But she's doing well as well, and she's eating away at her layers mash and getting strong so she can go back outside, out of my conservatory, out to join the other chickens that I have here and actually have a life that a chicken should have.
And it's amazing to think of when you walk into one of those farms, and you can't say anything against the farmers because that's what they do. And when you realise that whatever those 5,000 chickens are, each one of them is an individual. You know, it's hard
they
to
all
believe
have
that.
their own personalities.
Exactly.
They all have their own foibles. You know, they are unusual. I mean, the hardest thing I find about bringing out some of them is when you're taking the last ones out, you've got all these eyes looking at you, and me being me, I can hear them all saying to me, well, why aren't I going out? Why aren't I going out? And I can't take them all. There's maybe 14 to 15,000 hens in one of these sheds.
I know.
I can only maybe take out 200, 250 at a time.
I know. But you
and
see,
the
then
rest
again, they don't know what
unfortunately,
they don't know what you're doing with them. They don't know that for all they know, that you could be taking lunch. You know, but
Yeah,
they
but,
they
you
don't
know.
know. But at the same time, you can feel them all looking
know.
at you. It's a very powerful experience when they all look at you.
It's a very
found
emotional experience.
I found it very kind of weird when they all look at you, because they're just, you know, each one's got a brain and they're just thinking different things.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
they actually are very intelligent creatures.
Of course they are.
A friend of mine through the poultrysite.com, who have been brilliant and raised a lot of funds for me, Helen, her nickname would be Solar Bats. She has a lot of rescue hens over in England, and she has taught some of them. She's kept their minds occupied, and she's shown how actually intelligent they are. She does a game with some of them where she has a piece of paper with a lot of X's and O's on it, and the chicken knows if it pecks through the piece of paper with the O on it, it gets a treat.
Yeah.
And it always leaves the X's, only pecks at the zeros. It also, she uses like 5 little cake cups, different colours, and puts food under the green one. And no matter where it's placed, it always knocks the green one over, because it knows that's the one to go for to get the food. So they do need stimulation. They need company. You can't have one hen. But they are really, really affectionate creatures. And from the day they've been born, they've never seen daylight. They've never been able to stretch their wings. They've never stood in solid ground. And they've never been able to have a mud bath, which is what chickens love to do the most. And the first time you see a hen that's come out of a battery farm stretch its wings and then go into the soil pit to have a bath,
they're almost like they're kind of like students in many ways. Listen, how can
time to
people
get away from home?
how can people help?
Well, I want people to visit my website, which is www.nuthousehenrescue.co.uk.
Nuthouse hen NUT
NUT house henrescue.co.uk or
Right.
.com, either will get there.
Yeah.
On that, I would like you to just read up about what we do. You can make a donation if you want. You can sponsor a hen, which would be a regular donation, the same way the likes of the Dogs Trust and Mid Abington Animal Sanctuary will do with some of their animals. Also, some of the hens, when they come out, and I've been lucky so far that they haven't been too bad, but some of them are quite featherless when they come out. And they're coming out of a constant temperature of about 20 to 21 degrees. So with their very featherless, we have wee coats that can be made out of material or can be knitted, which we can put on them just to give them that bit of extra warmth to get them through the winter when they first come out. And I can supply patterns for both those to anybody who wants.
Oh, what a great idea.
We're also looking for volunteers.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, love.
Also looking for volunteers to help on the rehoming days with the checking over of the chickens, trimming of claws, and the cuddling of them when they first get here, you know, to give them that human interaction. And also, biggest thing of all, we're looking for people who would be willing to give them a loving home where they can live out their retirement. They're not to go into the food chain. I have strict terms and conditions on the website there as to the homes I'll let them go to and the homes I won't, because I'm not going to put my time and effort into rescuing hens for somebody just to make soup out of them.
Yeah, you're not going to go and rescue hens so it becomes somebody's Christmas lunch.
Exactly.
Listen, I think it's a great thing you're doing, and a very worthwhile thing. And well, give us the website again, if you would.
It's www.not with one T househenrescue.co.uk.
And you can always knit a jumper for a hen.
Yeah, if they want it, all they need to do is they can email me, and I email them either the knitting pattern or the pattern that is even simpler to be made out of material, and it's a wee jumper for the hens for which they come out in their featherless.
All right then. Okay, thanks very much. Well
Okay.
done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Not at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. You should get one of those knitted.
You know, that's the first time I heard, if I ever heard anyone refer to a hen as her.
Why not?
I never look at a hen as a girl. I never thought about it. She says that when the pearl deers come out, and you know, when she referred to him, and she gets her feathers back again, it's just her. You never think about it, do you?
I do.
I see you were bonding there. You were getting emotional.
part of me is a hen.
You should become the patron of that.
Let me put my wing around you.
Old turkey neck.
Thank you.
'Cause if from you, cause if from you, I've got a box of photographs and memories made of the years I spent with you. I pull it out on rainy days and lonely nights. They pick me up when I am blue. 'Cause if from you, for you, and all that it takes to take my pain away is a photo album covered in dust gray. From you, cause from you, cause from you, someday soon this box will be too full to close. Then, dear God, what shall we do? Keep the pictures and the memories coming. I'll start a brand box for you.
That's Gentry Morris. That's a song called The Box. I have to tell the people that the emails have gone down again. They're up the left. And
Ken was
been
in it,
so.
he was in it.
No, he wasn't.
I reported the
I know, but he didn't come in.
malfunction to Ken.
I know, but that's why he didn't come in, because he can't be bothered. That's okay. I'm used to being ignored and not being ministered to. So all I can tell the people is this: I'm sorry we can't have emails today. It's not Ken's fault, really. It's a bigger problem, connecting and indeed involving the whole of the BBC. The phone calls, of course, are working. 08459 555 678. If there's an urgent message, you have to get through. And indeed, the text messaging service is functioning quite well. It's 81771. Is that it? 81771? Or is it 771? What is it? 81771?
Yes.
Which one? 81771?
81771, yes.
As I said before, your application has made little impact upon the listening public. And I hope you intend to go through with it, because I've had a number of interviews yesterday. People on Work Exchange have come in here, and I've interviewed them briefly. I gave them 2 minutes each, but I found nobody with any personality. So I said, you'll be perfect. Great show yesterday. I hope you don't mind me saying. Sometimes I say things that hurt you, and I apologise in advance, but I enjoy it.
I know you do.
When news of Mr. Coyle's application came through on the radio, Tommy, my cat, and I put on matching plum-coloured duffel coats and headed down Shaftesbury Square. Thousands of people were dancing around their tents. Young women were making free with their affections, and old codgers were grabbing older ones and then dropping them like hot bricks when they couldn't remember what to do next. Jim Rogers, dressed as a giant red tomato, leaped on the back of a lorry and on top of a secretary, shouting, "No, no, no! I can confirm that Sean Coyle is gone." The last I heard, he was seeking refuge in Lifford. Any truth in this? Any truth in that? Seeking refuge across the border?
Funny, I was thinking about Lifford the other day.
Lifford's a fine place, a fine town, the twin towns of Strabane and Lifford. Home indeed, halfway house for Asda.
Yeah, but I want to go to Lifford Dog Track.
Yes, a fine dog track.
Yes.
Much finer than the one we have here in Derrystoke, Londonderry, which is falling apart. The one at in Lifford is a fine, and indeed a night out, for people who do not like greyhounds. Go and have a meal and a bottle of wine.
I just thought about going over Christmas.
And shop in Asda as you're there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about these big supermarkets. To talk about having a couple here in Derrystoke, London, they'll drain the life out of the city centre.
I've never been in one.
You should go into, next time you open the dog track, go into Asda. It'll frighten the life out of you.
I've never been to Sainsbury's here.
Have you not?
No.
Well, it's less frightening, but Asda is very frightening. Very frightening. Thunder and lightning. The last I heard, seeking refuge in Lifford. An old codger, wearing the obligatory flat cap and muffler, croaked, "I've seen the demise of Walter Love, John Bennett, and now Coyle." The old codger fell to his knees and gave thanks with tears and green pus running freely from his eyes. Then a loud, uncouth voice roared, "Hiya, Berties! My name's Jim McDowell. So it is, and I've just got a tweet." "Don't tell us," yelled Sarah Travers from the crowd. "Go and see a doctor." "How long, wee woman?" roared Jim. "I have my finger in the pulse of Northern Ireland, and the latest news is Coyle has refused to abdicate. I now read a communique from Herr Coyle. Dear subjects, there's a false rumour going around that I'm leaving Radio Foyle. That rumour was spread by the presenter, who's been trying to get rid of me since the day I came here. Me leave here? Me leave a cushy number near my home? Let my answer ring out in Belfast, Stroke City, Strabane, Clogher, Lisburn, Gorchin, Cullybackey. Never, never, never! Now go back to your homes before I set the PSNA on yous, and they'll wrap you around the kidneys with rubber truncheons." Tommy looked at me and said, "An Arab winter, I think, not a Fendi." I kicked a lost camel with a notice around its neck stating, "I belong to Sheik Geordie Tuft." Back home, Tommy and I got out a plate of cold liver and a six-pack of Andrew's liver salts. I turned on the radio just in time to hear Mr. Coyle say, "Did you ever enter a talent contest?" Tommy looked at me in surprise and said, "He hasn't lost it." What an observation. I handed Tommy an IOU for a concur and went swiftly to my bed. I'm playing all the good ones today.
Yeah.
They're dancing around the tables today.
You're right.
I'm in that kind of mood, you know. Contemplative.
Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Look at Miss Ohio. She's running around with a rag top down. She says, "I want to do right, but not right now. I'm gonna drive to Atlanta and live out this fantasy, running around with a rag top down. Yeah, I wanna do right, but not right now." Had your arm around your shoulder, a regimental soldier, and Mama starts pushing that wedding gown. Yeah, you wanna do right, but not right now. Oh, me, oh, my, oh, would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag top down. She says, "I want to do right, but not right now." Look at Miss Ohio.
She's running around with a rag top down. She says, I want to do right, but not right now. Oh, I want to do right, but not right now. Cold iron shackles and a ball and chain. I listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you're bound to wind up dead if you don't head back to Tennessee jet. A rich man step on my poor head. When you get back, you better butter my bread. Well, you know that it's just like I said. You better hurry on back to Tennessee jet. Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Oh, baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee? Drink all day and rock all night. A law come to get you if you don't walk right. Got a letter this morning, baby. You know what it read. You better hurry on back to Tennessee jet. I dropped 4 flights and cracked my spine. Honey, come quick, bring the iodine. Gonna catch a few winks, baby, up under their bed, and then head on back to Tennessee jet. Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee? I run into old Charlie Ford, but he blackened my eye and he kicked my dog. My dog turned to me and he said, let's head on back to Tennessee jet. I woke up this morning, I was feeling mean. I went down to play on the slot machine. Dead wheels, they turn around, and the letters read, you better hurry on back to Tennessee, Jed. Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee? Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee? Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee?
Oh, I've always liked that. That's a song called Tennessee Jed, and that's by Levon Helm, and that's from an album which was out a couple of years ago called Electric Dirt. And before that we had, I can't remember what we had before that. What did I play before that? Oh yes, I played a song by Gillian Welch called Look at Miss Ohio. And people sometimes think that this things happen in this programme happen by chance, but you know that's not the case. Everything is fully conceived.
Eh?
Everything is fully conceived.
Yes.
Pardon?
Nothing. I'm hungry.
Are you?
Yeah.
When was the last time you ate?
You think I am now in a police station?
No, seriously. When was the last time you ate?
The exact time. The exact time.
No, I just want to know the last time you ate. I want to know if it's as normal, what you're feeling, or is it just a false hunger? You know, kind of false hunger you get after a few pints.
About, I think I was finishing my porridge about 9:05.
One of your early days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you shouldn't be hungry then. There seems to be some kind of deficiency, some iron deficiency, something wrong with you. Do you feel ill? Do you feel okay?
No.
Do you feel as if you need medical attention? Do you feel as if you need some intravenous drip?
No, I had an orange and a kiwi fruit and some grapes.
That's not fit at all. What happened? Sausages and eggs and bacon.
And then I had my bowl of porridge and my banana, and then I had a cup of tea.
There's the proof for all to hear that, you know, that kind of breakfast is no good to you. All that fruit and porridge is no good. See, look at you now. What time is it? 20 to 12? You're hungry.
No, there's a wee gap development. You understand? There's a wee hole there, and just there's a wee notion, a wee yearning, a wee longing for something. You know, maybe
How interesting.
Maybe a wee sausage or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. If you had the sausage at 9, you wouldn't have that problem today. Anyway, I was saying earlier.
Stewardy's on one.
Is he? And I was saying before you were hungry that nothing in this programme happens by chance. Now, for instance, the track before that was called Look at Miss Ohio, Gillian Welch, a well-known American state. After that, we had a well-known American state.
Where?
Ohio.
Oh, yes.
And then we had Tennessee Jed.
Welch.
What?
I thought you said Welch was a well-known American state.
No. Tennessee Jed, another well-known American state. I'm going to play another track now, which is by Johnny Cash, which is called Tennessee Stud. So there's 3 songs, all together but somehow separate. You see, this is what's called a holistic approach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, a man approached me when you were off.
This seems to be happening far too often.
I know.
And what did he say to you?
When you were away in America, and
Yes.
I was out playing golf one day, and a man approached me. And the man said to me, he says, "Why don't you and Gerry? Why don't you teach people impersonations in their own home?"
Well, why don't you do that?
And I says, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "Gerry's very good, and he's very. He picks up the flaws." He says, "You can attempt them." He says, "But Gerry hones them, and he can pick up the wee flaws, and he can correct you."
That's why.
And he says, "Why don't you teach people impersonations at their own in their own home?" And he says, "Why didn't you start with me?" And I said, "But I said we couldn't possibly start with you because you're an American. I said, it's very hard to do an American accent.
He was American?
Yes.
Okay.
And he says, but Gerry lived in America and he lived in Canada. He says, Gerry's the man. And he said, did you never listen to my phrasing? I've got a special type of phrasing. I don't talk like any other actor. And I thought, right, okay.
Was he an actor?
He was an actor. And I says, but it's very difficult to do an American accent, and impersonate someone. I said, so he said, no, that's where Gerry comes into it.
But you don't know. Can I just reel back a bit? You don't know too many American actors.
No, I asked him who he was.
Where did he come from?
He just walked out of the bushes.
And what did he say?
He came over to me. I was on my own. I was putting, you see, and he stood there with his hands behind his back. No. And he talked to me, and I says,
well, how did you know he was an actor?
He told me. I recognised him.
He said, "You may not know me. I've just come from the bushes.
Yes,
I'm an American actor. I'm standing here with my hands behind my back. Why don't you take impersonations on the road and teach people like me? I'm an American."
And he says, for all good actors, you must get into character.
That's true. I do that.
And I says, I know that. He says, if you would get the people at home to imagine that they were 6'2",
like Liam Neeson,
right?
Yeah,
and black hair, straight black hair,
like Liam Neeson, yeah.
All right, and inhale through the nostrils when talking from time, or maybe before you talk, a big. Before you would say something. I said, well, that's all very interesting, you know what I mean? And he says, look what I do when I'm talking to you. He says, I turn my head towards one of my shoulders and I look at you with my left eye. I stare at you with my left eye. And I could see all this. And he says, can you feel yourself getting into character? Can you feel this person, you?
Can I just ask you something? Were you with anybody when you were talking to this man?
I was on my own.
I'd be scared.
And he says, and when I speak to you, note the small shake in the head, as if in disbelief. And he said, have loose lips and loose cheeks. Loose. Do you hear that? Loose. Loose lips. Loose cheeks. Can you hear it? And he says, you get into the character.
Are you okay?
You see?
Are you all right?
That's what I said. I said, and you want me to try and impersonate you? And he says, yes. But I said, that's American accent. I can't do an American. I can't do you. And he says, try it and get the people at home to do it. Gerry will help you.
And did you do him?
He says, there's a line. He says, do all that I tell you. Stand tall. Turn your head to your shoulder. The eye. Get the loose lips. Yes, that's it. Loose lips. Loose lips. And then the phrasing. The phrasing is important. And now this man was standing with his hands behind his back and he started to walk around the green. And he was patrolling the green.
If you had a gun, you'd have shot him.
No, do you hear him breathing?
I hear him, yeah.
And the head's turned. You see? And he said, it's the phrasing. And he said, say this after me. He says, and then get Gerry to teach you. And then he says, you're ready to deliver that immortal line that I hear Gerry Anderson use from time to time in his program. You use it all the time.
Keep her lit till I get out.
Close. No, close.
What is it?
And he said to me, he said, stand and look at me. He said,
I've got it.
He said, And he said, for instance, here's a line from one of my phones. He says, the Germans are sinking our ships in the Atlantic. You see? He said, he's working that. He said, and then you're ready. He says, but remember the loose lips and the eye, the left eye. Look at me and say,
there she blows! It's a whiting!
Put the dog down, Damien.
Gregory Peck.
You see, so you have to teach us Gregory Peck. And you see the eye and the loose lips and the head shaking. Put the dog down, Damien.
Put the dog down, Damien.
Put the dog down, Damien.
There she blows. It's a whiting.
The Germans are sinking our ships in the Atlantic.
You met Gregory Peck on the golf course.
Yeah.
He's been dead for 20 years.
And he just turned and he walked away. And he says, "Why don't you teach people?" He says, "You and Anderson." He says, Jerry says Jerry could be Michael Parkinson some mornings, and you could be saying, let's just say you could be Brian Clough or something like that. You know, put on a Brian Clough. He says, and teach the people. Now look here, Sunday, you know, and do all that. So why don't you think about that?
We could get a van, you know.
Yes.
And we could get printed on it, impersonations are us. Yeah. And we could travel around all the housing estates. You know, Rathcoole.
Right.
You know, all those places.
And have music playing.
Yeah, and have a little thing on the top. Right. Going,
it's a whiting.
Like that, to attract the people to take, you know, like an ice cream van.
Yes.
And anyone who wanted to be taught impersonation would come out and stand in front of their houses, and we go down and collect the money and then bring them all in the van and teach them how to do Jimmy Cricket.
Right.
Talking like that. And you
give me another line for
Breathless lips, breathless lips.
I have a doubloon for the man who spots her.
I have a doubloon for the man who spots her.
So what happened in Moby Dick in particular, because that is of which we speak.
Yes.
He took a gold doubloon and he nailed it to the masthead. This doubloon, I can't do it. Doubloon belongs.
You see, it's the lips and the head.
I think you need a holiday.
Sturdy's on one.
That's all right. Hello, good morning. I hope that didn't frighten you. Who's that, I wonder? The person's gone. No wonder.
Back about 18 and 25.
That person's gone. I don't blame him.
I never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on a Tennessee stud. Had some trouble with my sweetheart's paw. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. I wrote a letter to my Uncle Fudd, and I rode away on a Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood. There never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. Drifted on down into no man's land, across the river called the Rio Grande. Raced my horse with the Spaniard's foal till I got me a skin full of silver and gold. Me and the gambler, we couldn't agree. We got in a fight over Tennessee. I pulled our guns and he fell with a thud, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. The Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood. There never was a horse like the Tennessee stud. I rode right back across Arkansas. I whipped her brother and I whipped her pa. I found that girl with the golden hair. She was riding on a Tennessee mare. Pretty little baby on the cabin floor, a little horse cold playing round the door. I love the girl with the golden hair, and the Tennessee stud loves the Tennessee mare. The Tennessee stud was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood. There never was a horse like the Tennessee stud.
Johnny Cash, of course. That's a song called Tennessee Stud. Another suggestion for golfers, the collective noun, a tea caddy of golfers. And also a man with no sense says, can you please play My Ding-a-Ling? And also another suggestion, a condescension of golfers. I like that. You like that?
No.
I didn't think you would. Any Seth Lakeman tracks, notably King and Country or Lady of the Sea, he's lethal. Get on it like a cow bonnet. That's Seth Lakeman. Of course, Sam Lakeman is married to Cara Dillon.
Stuart is there now.
Is he? Gerry, if you do decide to play any Mr. Shatner today, you should try this first. Reverse the dilithium crystals, use half warp, and set the phasers on stun. Have Ken do this.
Gerry.
Sorry, good morning, hello.
Hello, Gerry. Do you hear me?
I do indeed, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell happened there. But
It's all right, don't lose your head, it's all right.
Tell me this. Could you do me a big favour? I would like to get in touch with a fella called John Hanna. Now, I'm going back over 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
He lived outside Newry, in the Newry area. I would say Newry Hilltown area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody told me, I've been trying to look him up, but I had no luck. And somebody, a fellow Scotty from Towermore, he told me he thought he went into the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know whether that's right or not, but there should be somebody down in that area or somebody would know of him.
It's not Roaring Hannah, by any chance?
Pardon?
It's not Roaring Hannah?
No.
Roaring Hannah was a minister upon whom Ian Paisley modelled himself.
Well, I don't think much of Ian Paisley.
He'll appreciate that. Ian Paisley's become a kind of a saint now. I don't know how he managed that.
Oh, well...
Anyway, this fella's called Hannah. You're going back 50 years.
Yeah, be over it. Could be over it, Gerry, you know.
Over it?
Yeah,
Well, you'd be a man.
55 years, you know, around... It's a long time ago, anyway.
Well, I'm just thinking you've got a very young voice, but from what you're telling me, that you're no spring chicken, if I may mention.
No, I'm no spring chicken, Gerry. I'm 85.
You don't sound that, because you know some people do. Some people when they're 80, they sound 80, but you don't sound. You sound about. You've got a very young voice. I bet you. I bet you're a lively kind of a specimen, are you?
Oh, yeah. I've been around my time.
All right. Are you still at yourself? I mean, are you okay? Are you fit enough?
Still go big game hunting.
Big game hunting?
Yeah.
Really? Well, what do you hunt?
Oh, mountain lion, black bear, grizzly bear, crocodile, elk, deer, anything, you name it.
Not too many of them around Newry.
No.
Are you serious now? Or are you
no, I'm serious, yeah.
Where do you go and hunt those?
Oh, I hunt Alaska, all over Canada, and
Are you
all over the
serious?
States.
Are you serious? When was the last trip you've been on?
About 2 years ago, I was down South Africa with a few guys from down south.
And what did you hunt down there?
In Africa, we were hunting kudu and wildebeest and
Dick-dicks.
breeze buck, spring buck, all sorts of stuff.
Dick-dicks. Yeah, there's a thing called a dick-dick. It's a little deer. And the only time I ever knew that was, I remember James Kelly, God rest him, used to own Kelly's in Portrush.
You're not thinking of Dika? No, the little deer, it's about the size of a goat.
That's what he meant. I met him one time and he had a little foot, like a rabbit's foot, round his neck. And I said to him, what's that? Is that a rabbit's foot? He said, it's not, it's a dick-dick. And he probably said, dicka. Dicka. It's a dicka. Well, listen, a lot of people have mixed feelings about hunting. You don't have any qualms about it at all?
No qualms at all. That's like there's people think you go out and just go out and shoot something. That's Gerry. It's not as easy as that.
What's the biggest thing you've
crawl in your belly and you get bitten by ants and black flies and it ain't that easy.
What's the biggest thing you ever shot?
Oh well, I shot moose.
Moose?
I shot a black bear. He weighed in at about 600 pounds. So he was
You're not scared shooting a black bear. If you miss a black bear, it's good night Vienna, isn't it?
Well, you see, that's the whole thing about it. You've got to put your skills against his.
So if a black bear is coming at you, and not necessarily coming at you, but if you see a black bear and you shoot it and wing it, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, but you don't wing it. Like if you're a hunter, you try to get a good clean kill. You don't shoot somebody wounded.
Did you ever shoot an elephant?
I could have done, but I wouldn't do.
Why not?
Well, you get very close to an elephant, and I've seen elephants there in Africa. Wild elephants. It was maybe 50 yards off them or 40 yards off them. And I wouldn't shoot anything like that.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't let you shoot an elephant.
Qualms about that. Well, okay, good man. Well, how interesting is that? Have you ever had any close shaves? I mean, do you ever get scared?
Well, I went up what you call a tree seat. That's got up a tree you sit and watch,
Yeah.
For what you call beta bear, that's put like old fish guts and rotten meat in a bag, and and put in a rope and throw it over a branch and pull it up off the ground. And the bear can smell it, and you hope he comes, along, and you get a shot at him.
And he's coming up at you, basically.
But I was doing this and was getting the thing up and all, and I had my rifle and all down on the ground, and I was up working at the seat.
Yeah.
A bear came along,
The boy-
and I was up there, no bloody rifle, and he was in there, and he started to come up the tree. There I was, so I wasn't too happy about it, but
what did you do?
I thought the best thing to do, any animal, they don't like fire, so I just got I don't smoke, but you always carry a cigarette lighter and stuff like that, or waterproof matches for, when you're out for cooking on,
Sure,
or
yeah,
lighting a fire for cooking.
Yeah.
So a little big bit of paper, and I touched his nose with it, and he went down, he disappeared.
That's
I
how close.
went down, I got the rifle up there, and from that day to this, when I would hunt anything, I make damn sure I got the rifle right beside me.
So it came within arm's length.
So it worked out all right.
It was at your arm's length.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And what size was he?
Well, he wasn't too big of an, I'd say about 3 or 4 year old,
What weight would he have been? But the same weight as Hugo, something like that.
One like that, he could maybe a couple of £100 or so.
Yeah, Hugo.
But a big one there, a real big one. The biggest one I ever killed in the black bear was he weighed in about £600.
Oh my God!
That's quite a bear, That's a lot of bear.
That's Nolan's weight. All right, then. Listen, what a fascinating story. But we're getting away from it. You should talk to me again sometime. Could you mind if I talk to you again sometime?
No problem.
Listen, you're looking for John Hanna. Tell me again, where would he have been? And tell me.
He was up around. He lived in the Newry area.
Yes.
About, I would say a few miles out of Newry, 5 or 6 miles out of Newry. I'm not sure of his address. Now, somebody told me, Scotty up in Tobermore, he told me, as far as he knew, he went to the ministry, but whether he followed through on that, we don't know. For I've been talking to Scotty, and he's trying to help me get in touch with this guy. He's a real nice guy, and I'd love to meet up with him again,
All right, then. So if there's a John Hanna out there from the Newry, Hilltown area around about
and
that.
he would remember Stuarty and Scotty, the two guys he would remember.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much. What an interesting conversation. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Gerry. And if he gets in contact with me, I'll let you know, and I'll come down there and I'll buy you a whiskey.
Oh, okay. And if indeed the gentleman or any of his friends are listening, ring here, 08459 555 678, and we'll put you in touch. And we'll try that again tomorrow as well. Thank you, sir.
You're a gentleman. Thanks a million.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. There's another 20p for the undertone.
Why would you want to shoot a black bear?
Because it's there, Sean. The bear is there.
No, you're hunting the bear. Leave the bear alone.
Yeah, but you see, I didn't want to get too heavily into that. Because he's probably used to that. There's enough people telling him he shouldn't be doing it. That's all we have time for today. Back tomorrow at the same time, around about 10:30. We'll leave you with these Sons of Londonderry.
Call her on the telephone. Have her over 'cause I'm all alone.